We have a desktop and a smartphone application that will allow you to visualize with some nice, simple features out of the box to get usability. A lot of it is built in a work in process, work order tracking context of how it needs to be used, but it really can be used for anybody that's lost stuff in their facility. So you can see in the front end application that I've just opened, this is comes with the package. Well, these don't have the same name. This one says tooling P606, and this one says SOE shop order 3333. That's the sort of thing that people are going to search for. They don't care about 4BBE, right? Like they don't want to search for 4BBE. They want to be able to assign this to something and then give this application to somebody that might not understand that there's even a tag on it. They want to be able to give this to the, no offense intended, the bolt grinders in the facility and say, hey, if you lose a piece of tooling, type in tooling P606 so you can go find it, right? So it's those sorts of features and functionalities that we've added in here to just make it so as soon as we leave the site, they can have this application and there's no more lost stuff, right? One of our GE aviation sites that we're public with that I can speak about called us, I think, 2.5 years in, hadn't lost anything since it got put in. It's exactly what it's for, right? This is the big low hanging fruit thing is, hey, you're gonna know where your stuff is. If you lose a work order, you can type it in here and go find it, right? And so this application is in itself split in the use of it. A lot of times you're going to have a group of people in the facility that are assigning the tags, right? So they're going to be sitting here and they're going to usually have a barcode scanner in this computer they're sitting at. And they're going to look at this screen, the tag assignment screen, and they're going to scan the tag, right? That barcode that I mentioned earlier, well, now it's coming back into play, right? So this barcode, bink, and then they're going to scan the barcode, bink, of whatever they're putting it on, whatever work order, right? And traditionally, it usually has one work order ID. We have made it so we have um, additional fields that you can utilize in this case. Like you can see, there's a lot of different status, quantity, weights, heights, all of that. That's customizable. We'll get into that in a second. But just the simple use of the system is I've got tag and I want to assign it a new name. That's and there's plenty of shops that's as far as they get, and that's great. And every facility we've ever been in, they already have a barcode on all of their work orders. It's usually called a traveler or a router, with a paperwork, an MO, a PO, an SO. I think I've even gotten ROs, return orders, and yeah, so there's a bunch, or maintenance order, manufacturing order. All of them have like a laminate bag, and they have all the paperwork inside with the barcode with the master ID of what it is. So traditionally, this tag is actually riding in that sack of paperwork. So it's actually a paperwork tracker a lot of times when you think about it, but it's not actually on the part. It's not stuck to the metal. It's riding with the paperwork of that part. And as that part gets worked on, that paperwork is sitting at the desk workstation of who's working on it. And that is how they know exactly what stage it's at, right? So they can know, hey, Logan has a shop order 3333. We can tell that because the paperwork is sitting on his desk, right? And so it's usually they're going to scan the tag, they're going to scan that work order, done, right? If there is no barcode and it's a piece of die or tooling or some sort of extra tool, what they're going to do instead of scanning is just type it in, right? So I can take 4BBE, right? And instead of tooling P606, let's just name it something else so we can P321, right? And so, okay, I just typed that in instead of scanning it because it didn't have a barcode, but it's still a piece of tooling that I need to track. There it says P321. So there are cases where it doesn't have barcodes, rare, but it does exist, usually when you're tracking the equipment that's used to make whip as opposed to the whip. If you're tracking work in process, it 100% of the time has a barcode in the industries that we've been in. So the basic use of the system is that you're naming things and then you're searching for them, right? For instance, if I have a whole shop here and I need to go where was that piece of tooling or where was that shop order? I can type SO and then it'll find SOE 333 on the map for me, right? So I can say, oh, there's SOE 333. It's going to gray out all of the other tags and it's going to give me where that is on the map, right? If you decide to use it a little more in depth, you'll see that there's additional information that can be carried in the system. Optional, but it can be. There are certain sites where this is preferred to have some additional information associated with each part to indicate certain things. Like I gave an example here, status, color, quantity, bin size, and weight. It doesn't have to be that. Those are all customizable fields that you can set internal to this application. Um, but there can be additional fields that you search for. So when I'm searching for tool 1234, it shows me this, but I can also search for instance, these different calibration dates. So I could type in the search here, calibration, oh, and it shows me tool 1234, and then I can locate that on the map that way. It just providing some nice, simple functionality to sort, divide, all of your information of your parts in a live view is really what this application is intended for. So you'll notice I have different colors. Something we added to, again, help sort and identify and keep clear everything on this map. This is a purple tool 1234, whereas tooling P321 is green, right? And this is just based off of the group that I have given it, right? I've said that this is group E104, and I have said that this is group, it's a line 2 and it's a tool. You can have as many groups on anything as you want. Those groups are easily created in this screen, and I can say I want new groups. I can call it if it's an MO, it'll be yellow. If it's associated to line 2, it's purple. And you can edit any of those names in any of those colors. Whatever group you add first is the color of the tag. And a lot of times people like to simplify the way that they view the system by making those groups visible or invisible, right? So I can toggle between hidden and visible for my groups, and that really simplifies my screens. That comes in handy for multiple people when you're across a huge plant. I might only care about line 2. So I want my screen to be cleaned up and just on line 2, seeing the purples or the greens, for instance. So this is one way to really visualize the data. It's a live screen. It comes with the system. You can search, sort, find, even run some very simple reporting through the tags page. I can search for specific tags, filter them, funnel them, and export them to a CSV. Sometimes that's sufficient from a reporting perspective. The fields on the CSV are going to be the ones that you've configured here, and that's it. All right, it's going to be the tag, the battery, when it was last seen, what zone it's in, what groups it has, and any of those additional fields that you put in right here. So that's what gets put through. That is the limit of the reporting of WISER. We'll simply give you all of this. Whenever you click CSV, it'll give you all of the current kind of things there. So the system has a lot more to offer if you're willing to start gathering data and using it. And so that's where you really start to get out of maybe what I like to call the tier 1 low-hanging fruit of searching and finding. No more lost stuff. Usually hey, that's great. That's their first thing, but you can use this at a higher level and start to really get some interesting information out of this. One really great way to do that is to divide your facility up into zones.